A modified roulette wheel has 28 slots. One slot is 0, another is 00, and the others are numbered 1 through 26, respectively. You are placing a bet that the outcome is an odd number. Now, in roulette, 0 and 00 are neither odd nor even. So, what is your probability of winning? Well, remember here, the probability of event A occurring is the number of ways A can occur divided by the number of different simple events. Okay, and so what we want to do is we want to determine, okay, well, how many, if we want to get an odd number out of these 28 slots, okay, how many are odd numbers? Well, a win can occur 13 ways because there are 13 odd slots on the wheel. So, let's take a look here. Well, we know that the success is to have an odd number, right? Okay, so we know that 0 and 00 are neither odd nor even. So then we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 odd numbers. So that means that's why we can say that a win can occur 13 ways. Now, the modified roulette wheel has 28 slots, meaning that all these numbers, if we count them all up, so we have 26 numbers plus these additional 2, which is 28. So therefore, there are 28 simple events because there are 28 slots on the wheel. And slots on the wheel cannot be broken down into smaller events. So what is your probability of winning? Well, let's go ahead and do that. So the probability of winning, or the probability that the outcome is an odd number is equal to 13 over 28. So let's take our look at our result here. So the probability of winning is 13 over 28. Now the next question says, what are the actual odds against winning? Okay, so let's take a look at the definition of that. So what are the actual odds against winning? Well, the actual odds against event A occurring are the ratio where you have the probability of the complement of A divided by the probability of event A. And that's usually expressed in the form of A to B, where A and B are integers having no common factors. Okay, now recall that the probability of getting an odd number is 13 out of 28. So we want to determine the probability of not odd, meaning that is the complement of that. And so recall that the complement of an event A consists of all outcomes in which event A does not occur. So to find the probability of not odd, we need to take the value of 1 and subtract the probability of odd. Well, we know what the probability of odd is, which is 13 over 28. So we have 1 minus 13 over 28. Now, what we want to do is we want to be able to subtract this fraction from 1. Now, remember, 1 can be anything, and we can rewrite that so it has the same denominator of 28. That's the same thing as 28 over 28 minus 13 over 28. And so if we take 28 and subtract 13, then we end up with 15 over 28. So that means that the probability that it's not odd is 15 over 28. Okay, so now we want to determine the actual odds against event A occurring, because we know the ratio is the probability of the complement divided by the probability of event A. So that means we're looking for the probability of not odd divided by the probability of getting an odd. So that means the fraction of the probability of not odd we just determined is 15 over 28. And then we're going to divide that by the probability of odd, which is 13 over 28. Okay, so this is the same thing as saying the following. If we take 15 over 28, and then we're going to divide 13 over 28, what we can do is take the reciprocal of 13 over 28 and change this to multiplication. So this is going to become 15 over 28 times 28 over 13. And so what happens is we can simplify the 18. So we have 15 over 13, or we would write this as the odds are 15 to 13. So let's go ahead and write our answer here. We would say, what are the actual odds against winning? Well, the actual odds against winning are 15 to 13. Okay, the next question says, when you bet the outcome is an odd number, the payoff odds are 1 to 1. How much profit do you make if you bet $16 and win? Well, when you bet that outcome is an odd number, the payoff odds are 1-1, and in order to determine that, the payoff odds against event A represent the ratio of net profit if you win to the amount bet. So the payoff odds against A is equal to the net profit to the amount bet. Well, when you bet that the outcome is an odd number, the payoff odds are 1 to 1, since that's what it's asking. And so how much profit do you make if you bet $16 and win? Well, the payoff odds again are 1 to 1, so you win exactly as much as you bet. So if you win, the payoff is $16. So therefore the answer is $16. Okay, the last question says, how much profit should you make on the $16 bet if you could somehow convince the casino to change its payoff odds so that they are the same as the actual odds against winning? Well, the actual odds against winning are 15 to 13, which is what we found in B. So its payoff odds were the same as the actual odds. So then winning a $16 bet would be paid the following. We would take 16 and then multiply it by the odds, which is 15 over 13. Okay, this is the same as saying 16 times 15, and then we're going to divide that by 13. Let's see what we get here. So if we take 16, multiply it by 15, and then divide that by 13, we get 18.461. So we get 18.461. Now the reason why I go 3 decimals is because we want to round this to the nearest cent so we know how much we're going to win. So that means we would get paid $18.46. And so therefore our answer would then be $18.46 rounded to the nearest cent.